We will first remove the sun visors. There's a small little spot here on the side where you can stick a pry tool, and that'll pop these out. And then you'll take your pry tool, stick it under this piece of plastic, and you'll reveal 2 Phillips head screws. Then we'll disconnect this connector for the light, and that's it. Next, we'll take out the handles here. Use your pry tool again. There's a small tab on both sides. There, got one out. There's another one out, and then you could just pull that out just like that, very easily. Next, there are 3 pop clips here. You'll take your pry tool, get underneath them, the first layer, and yank it out like this, just like that. Okay, with all that done, next we'll move on to the front light here. And there will be a couple of Phillips head screws in there. We'll undo these connectors here. And then we will get to this light similarly. And again, you got a couple of Phillips head screws here holding this in place. Undo that harness. Okay, now the only thing right now that we have holding up the headliner is actually the weather stripping. So we'll peel that back and this headliner will most likely fall out. So yeah, basically it already came out. So there's a bunch of all these wires are held in with this tape, so we'll have to retape that up when we go to reinstall this. But for now, we'll just tape it to the roof, keep it out of the way, keep it safe. I'm just gonna go ahead and label all of these wires so I remember where they go. So this, I just wrote visor on there, so I know that this wire is for obviously the visor. Well, I don't know how they get it out, but it doesn't come out through the trunk, that's for sure. It's out now. It is a little bit creased. Honestly, it doesn't bother me. It's out. It's dirty, definitely. I'm gonna clean it. It smells. I see all that dirt. A little bit of crease here. Honestly, really, how often do you look up at your headliner? I don't, so I ain't gonna even notice it, really. Hopefully I can fix it, and hopefully when we reinstall it, it goes in. Maybe I'll need a second set of hands to help me guide it in better. But that's out. I found what that mystery wiring is, so it goes to here, and then it went to this set of wires, which lead here, which was connected to this camera. I don't know, maybe this camera was there to see over the wing. I don't know why you would put it, maybe to see over the wing, I guess. But I'm going to take that off anyway. At least I know what that wiring was for. Next, we're going to take out that steering wheel. That needs to be cleaned for sure. Deep cleaning, and we'll refresh that leather for sure. Alright guys, so with the headliner out, I taped up the wires for now, and I labeled where they go, so this way just saves us a little bit of a headache, because I got a lot of things to reassemble in here, and let's be honest, I can't remember everything, so Next, we're going to take out this steering wheel, and make sure your battery is disconnected, of course. I have it as straight as I possibly can get it. We'll take out the airbag first. We'll deal with this wiring another day. I don't feel like it today. Shove it over there. Remember, guys, there's 3 access holes to get your airbag out. A pick is your friend in this situation. There's one at the bottom here, and then one on both sides of the steering wheel. And you're gonna have to use your pick, get your steering wheel as straight as possible to begin with. Feel around with your pick for a small spring tab. Push on this little tab here and pull that grounding wire off, and then you'll simply take your pick, carefully pry up on these connectors here, pop them up just like that. That's all you need, and then pull the connector free. There we go. There's one, and there's 2, and they make it easy for you. The black goes in the black, orange in the orange. So I'll be honest with you guys, getting the airbag out is a bit of a pain. I mean, once you've done it a couple times, you know what to look for. Use a flashlight. Look through those little holes. One hole here, and another one here. And you'll take your pick, and each of these clips kind of, they go in a different way. Like this one, you have to push up in order to disconnect the lower spring clamp that's holding the bottom of the airbag in place. And then on the side here, this one you have to push towards the airbag, and the same with the other one. So it is a bit of a pain. You need a flashlight to look in there and guide yourself properly, but once you've done it a few times, you get it. So we're gonna go ahead and continue with the removal of the steering wheel. We'll disconnect carefully this wiring harness. It's connected to the clock spring. Be very gentle. And 18mm bolt in the center here. Make sure your steering wheel is straight. Leave the bolt on a little bit, because the next step, you don't want the steering wheel to come flying off and damage your connectors. So leave the nut on there and rock the steering wheel side to side. And there we go. Now it's free. So now we can go ahead, remove that nut. Carefully take your steering wheel off. Route your airbag connectors. And we're going to tape this clock spring in place so this way it doesn't move, because you don't want this to turn. There's a ribbon cable inside there, and if it turns too much, more than necessary, you risk damaging the cable and also throwing the car off, not knowing what position the steering wheel is in. So let's get that taped up. You know what, I think I'm going to take the whole thing out. So separate these 2 halves. Yeah, take the whole thing out. So this pops up. What I'm going to do, though, I'm going to take this clock spring out because it's really dirty. There's a few connectors to undo here. There's one on the bottom. Be careful, because this also has your steering angle position sensor. And there's 3 connectors for your clock spring there. And then there's 3 tabs, 2 on the bottom here and 1 at the top. As you can see, there's some hairs in there. I'll do a quick dusting once I get the dashboard out, disinfect all this stuff. There's just so much dirt everywhere. And we're getting there. Little by little, we're chipping away at this interior, and it's coming along really nice. It's becoming beautifully refurbished. I can't wait to get it back in the car. Once it's in the car, we'll move on to the engine, which needs some work, and then body work. Okay guys, well, here's today's haul. I got the headliner out. I got a bunch of trim pieces out, the steering wheel airbag, the clock spring, the surround for the steering wheel, the dome light, the visors, the handles, and the steering wheel itself.